Hello everybody! In this video, we'll be giving you an explanation of how the Block Wars Movember event will work, taking place on November 8th at 2 PM EST. This is the most customized Block Wars experience we'll have hosted so far, with changes made to voting, games, and the event format as a whole, so get ready for a lot of information. Starting with the teams, we've decided to add 2 brand new teams exclusively for this event and feature 6 players on each team. This means that there are a total of 60 players in Block Wars Movember rather than the usual 40. The new teams are the Wizards on Light Gray and the Agents on Dark Gray, or Light and Dark for short. Voting will work the same as usual, but what players will vote on has changed. Games will no longer appear individually, but rather, every included game has been labeled as either a PvP game, a movement game, or a miscellaneous game. Alongside a fully randomized option, these game categories will appear for players to vote on. Once selected, 3 minigames from the game category will be selected at random and played consecutively without additional voting. All of the included games and how they work will be explained in a separate game explanations video tomorrow. And now for the most important element of this event, fundraising. Viewers' donations will collectively have an impact on how the event may progress. Just like most Minecraft charity events, there is an overall goal with multiple milestones to reach, each of which have a special reward that occurs once the donation goal has been reached. Some examples of the milestones for our fundraising goal are the mustache cosmetic for In the Hub, or every team's top scoring player being given the Anchor modifier for 1 game bundle. We've also made sure to prepare some stretch goals in case the donation goal is reached early, which may include some fun surprises. Additionally, a second layer of fundraising goals has been added for this event, being team-related donation goals. Teams will have milestones to reach for themselves to receive permanent buffs throughout the event. For this, each team in Block Wars Movember will have their own donations page where viewers can not only support the Movember charity, but also support their streamer in-game. The buffs teams will receive vary per milestone and are predetermined to create some sense of balancing. The team buffs consist of game buffs, voting buffs, and point buffs. A game buff will receive 2 small stat increases per different type of game bundle. In PvP games, players will be given extra health and extra base damage output. In movement games, players will be given extra base movement speed and jump height. In miscellaneous games, players will have reduced gravity and increased block reach. Just like all the other team buffs, the game buffs have multiple different levels, each of which raises different stats in unique ways. For example, game buff level 1 raises 3 stats, 1 per game, whereas game buff level 2 sees every one of the 6 stat increases receive its respective change. Also, at any point during the event, players can use the /buffs command to check which team buffs are currently active for their team. The voting buff will increase your voting power during the decision donut. For example, voting buff level 1 will increase your voting power from 1 to 2. Later levels of the voting buff may increase your voting power by more than 1. The point buff is the least common team buff, but brings a lot of value with it, giving teams an additional point multiplier on top of their regular point gain. At level 1, the point buff will give teams a 5% increase in their point yield, meaning that you'll get an extra 5 points for every usual 100 points gained. Teams will also be able to see which team buff is up next in their fundraising milestones. Each team will have a donation goal of $2,500, but we've prepared a good amount of stretch goals as it's expected that not every team will raise the same amount of money. Lastly, the finale for this event will see the top 2 teams face off against each other in Jelly Ball, which debuted in Block Wars Rookies last month. However, on the topic of finales, our main fundraising goal for $25,000 will see the return of a much requested game, Bridges, as a 30v30 brawl. If we hit our main goal, the game will be played next and not as a finale. Make sure to tune into your favorite streamer's POV on November 8th at 2 PM EST or 7 PM GMT for Block Wars Movember. If you'd like to get early access to new Block Wars updates or behind the scenes content, join us on Patreon through the link in the description. Also, check us out on Twitter or Blue Sky and join our Discord for updates on future events. See you tomorrow for the game explanations.